Among his latest work is a brand new audiobook. It's called Poppies Grow in Normandy, The Secret Diaries of a CIC Agent in World War II. It's available now on Audible. Please welcome back to the show, Jerry Lyden. I'm going to quiz you. Can I quiz you? Can I give you a quiz?
You may quiz.
Do you know that song?
Sugar Blues.
And why is that song relevant?
One of my favorites.
One of your favorites. Brian Netto and the Nite Show Band, everyone.
And this is in honor of Steve Esty, who's...
Sock Puppet Santa, and he'll be on after you. Yeah, so what does it say there? It's a...
Merry Christmas, eh?
Merry Christmas, eh? And it's got the ear flaps, the old toque. You've been on our show a few times.
Yeah.
You were on the show. I think you played Rex Tillerson. He was Secretary of State at the time, right?
Yes, he was.
And it was Steve Esty playing a Canadian reporter.
Yep.
And then you were on the show. It was a sketch we did with Brian Netto's internet radio station,
yes.
right? And I took over the DJing, and I started playing something like Metallica or something.
Yeah.
And it drove you crazy.
Drove me nuts.
Yeah, it drove you absolutely nuts. So thank you for coming back to join us as a guest. This is great.
I'm glad to be back. It's fun.
It's the holidays. What sort of Christmas time thoughts, stories come to mind for you?
One from the audiobook of my grandfather's World War I and II diaries. Mm-hmm. It's called Poppies Grow in Normandy. Mm-hmm. And it's his counterintelligence unit's Christmas of 1944. Mm. They had been up at Pearl, Germany, and the Battle of the Bulge started. And they pulled back to a town called Thionville in France, and they were billeted in a home and had a local woman as their cook. And she had adopted, Frau Becker was her name, she had adopted a child of 2.5 named Wilma. And her parents had been killed. Mm. And so this orphan is there. And here are 8 hard-boiled GIs thrown into this household. Mm. And they fell in love with the child. Mm. Decided, Wilma's got to have a Christmas. So they set about finding a Christmas tree, and the only one they could find was in a bombed-out German mortar position, and there were trees blown down all around the position because the artillery had wiped it out. And they found a fir tree, and my grandfather and his partner took their combat knives and chopped off the top of the tree, and stuffed it in a Jeep, and took it back to Thionville. I have photos of that tree. Yeah. And they also decided that baby Wilma needed to have some presents. So they got together and found a fur coat and hat ensemble and bought it for her. And the Captain Graham of the unit mounted his captain's bars on the front of the hat for the baby. And all these guys got together and bought the only toy in town was a little, really crappy baby buggy, fur doll, and it looked like it would fall apart. So that was.
But it made a special Christmas for this.
Oh, that was. Wow. I've been trying to find Wilma because she's only 3 years older than I am. Okay. And I had just bombed out. I've contacted people in France, and
have you tried TikTok?
No, I have.
Everyone's on that thing.
But I've tried Facebook and other ones.
I hope you do find her. That's an incredible story, and that story is contained in the book, which the audiobook is out now on Audible.
Yes, it's on Audible and basically anywhere you get audiobooks.
It's Poppies Grow in Normandy.
And it can be gotten through Brewer Library.
Which is nice, but you want people buying the book, right?
Yeah, sure.
Libraries are great and everything, but you can use a little scratch.
It's not expensive. No, it's not.
It's a nice gift. The diaries are from your grandfather.
Yes, from my grandfather in World War I and World War II.
So working on this must have just been deeply beyond personal.
I found out more about my family than I ever wanted to know. Because my dad was in England he was stationed in England and France, and my Uncle John was stationed in North Africa and Italy and Sicily. And my grandfather, Jerry Condon, whom I'm named for, served in London and Southampton, and then went across to Cherbourg, and he did counterintelligence with Patton's Third Army all across northern France, and ultimately went in with the British 51st Division to Bremerhaven for the surrender at Bremerhaven and the last fight in Bremerhaven.